Okay. Now we're going to get into the basics of synopsis writing, and I'm just going to plow through this, and then we'll look at examples and get to questions. A synopsis is necessary for adult fiction, memoir, and kids novels, middle grade and young adult. So if you're writing any of those, you are going to need a synopsis. You don't know which agents are going to go after synopsis and aren't. The thing about the synopsis is, and if you're in the querying process, you probably already know this, is that some agents put a lot of value in them. Some agents don't. You don't know what an agent is going to want. So you definitely have to have one ready, because you never know when an agent is going to request one and put a lot of weight in it. That said, and I'll be skipping around in different parts of the speech here because whatever comes across my mind, I'm just going to say, I have to say that synopses are very important for genre fiction. And what classifies as genre fiction would be any of the so-called popular genres like mystery, thriller, suspense, science fiction, fantasy, romance, horror, as well as I think they're very important for young adult, middle grade, and memoir. Where they're requested as infrequently would be more experimental fiction or literary fiction. You still have to have one, and you still want it to be good. But in my opinion, I found that agents and editors tend to put less stock in those because, you know, it's all about the quality of the writing. Second bullet point down. So what makes a synopsis unique is that it's a front-to-back summary of the work. And the key thing, obviously, being underlined is front-to-back. You have to keep that in mind. A summary, a synopsis differs from a pitch. A pitch is what you find in the query letter. It's where you explain in 3 to 10 sentences about your book. A pitch is what you find on the back of a DVD box. If you pick up the back of a DVD for any movie, Chronicle, which is the last movie I watched, or American Beauty or The Godfather or whatever, when you flip over to the back, typically there's several sentences that describe what the story is about. That is a pitch. A pitch is designed to peak. If you pick up the back of the Die Hard DVD box, does it say how Die Hard ends? No. Does it tell you everything that happened from start to finish? No. That's what a synopsis does. That's what makes it unique, is that it gives away the ending because it explains everything that happens over the course of the 3 acts of your story. Something to keep in mind. Last point, the length. I know that the synopsis length is kind of a sticking point with people. And I'm here to tell you that there is an answer to how long a synopsis should be. And the answer is 1 page, single spaced. You can make, if it's 2 pages, it's double spaced, which of course is the same length. 2 pages double spaced equals 1 page single spaced. The thing is, a while back, there used to be, it used to be much more liberal about the synopses. They would be 5 pages or 7 pages or 12 pages. And some people would say, well, for every 35 pages of your story, that equals 1 page of a synopsis. So if your book was, 245 pages double spaced, that means you would have 7 pages for a synopsis double spaced. And that's no longer true. At some point in the past 5 to 7 years, agents started to realize that synopses were way too long, and they could be a lot shorter. So some started kind of saying, give me shorter synopses, and others followed suit. The point is, no matter what an agent asks for, even if they ask for a synopsis or a short synopsis, or even if they ask for a 4-page synopsis on paper that smells like apple butter, whatever, it doesn't matter. Whatever they request, if you turn in a 1-page, single-spaced synopsis, you're cool. Even if that's not what they ask for, it's better than what they ask for. It is a great across-the-board thing. You could always draft one synopsis, default synopsis, and then if you want to tailor your other synopses to these really rare, unusual requests that come in, you can do that. I don't even think you need to do that. I think you're going to be fine. So keep in mind, this is our first slide, but if anything is unclear here, ask me questions, and I'll open them maybe in like 15 or 20 minutes or so, and we'll start to knock them out. What is the purpose of a synopsis? What does it accomplish? The purpose and some of the things that you need to do is it conveys the narrative arc, the 3-act structure, who the characters are involved in the story, the major characters, what the conflict is, what generates the conflict of the book, what the plot is, in other words, what happens, what's the story about, and the ending. So everything is shown there. It shows what happens and who changes from beginning to end. So the thing about it is you got to put yourself in an agent's shoes. Okay, and say you're an agent who represents mystery. The fundamental rule for a mystery novel is, if you think about it, and you know this, is that there's a dead body at the beginning and it's a whodunit. That's what a mystery is. And so the thing is, how many mysteries have been written over the years? Tons, what, tens of thousands? So how is your book different from those other 10,000 books? That's what a synopsis shows. Is it shows the characters, it shows the plot, it shows the twists, because it doesn't hide anything, and it shows the ending. So we can immediately process whether your mystery has enough unique or original or interesting elements that separate it from other stuff. So that's what a synopsis does, is it just boils down your story so they can see that your story has interesting elements in it, and it's going to, it's going to be worthwhile of their time to take 8 hours to read the whole book. Because when you think about it, for them to read your whole book, that might take 8 hours or a little bit longer. And before they get into that, they want to make sure that it is worthwhile. Third bullet point down is the synopsis gives agents a sense that you have a complete story. In other words, like some people have a good concept or hook for a book, but everything falls apart at the end, and whoops, it's a dream. And if your book is a dream, and the synopsis explains everything, the synopsis will show all the weak points in your armor. Fourth point, synopses are designed to explain, but don't be worried if it's dry. All synopses are dry. This is my opinion. And what I'm saying is when you're drafting the pitch letter, the pitch paragraph in the query letter, that's designed to have voice. You're supposed to have flair and style and the way you convey stuff. And I always say paint pictures in an agent's mind and elicit emotion. Come with specifics. Don't be general. Synopses can just get to the point. If in a synopsis you can say Bill James is a hopeless romantic, something like that. In a query letter, when you only have several sentences, I'm hoping you can give me that point in a better flair. Bill James has tried 57 times on Match.com to find his perfect wife, but he just can't seem to do it. Something like that. So in a pitch, you want the flavor, but a synopsis can be dry. It doesn't have to be interesting. In my opinion, and I might be skipping forward a little bit here, is I have almost never, ever read a synopsis that I would deem excellent. It's not like I ever read a synopsis and I was like, this is so fantastic. Wow, I just have to read this book. In my opinion, synopses are either okay or bad. And bad will hurt you, and okay is just what you're looking for. So don't be afraid if you read your synopsis and like, this is kind of dry. I mean, it's accomplishing what it should, but it's really not getting me excited or knocking my socks off. Don't be worried about that. You're just trying to eliminate a bad synopsis. And the crucial things about a bad synopsis, the most common things that go wrong, is yours is too long, or just it's confusing. If you boil it down to one page, then the length is correct, and it's just confusing. You're not answering questions. And the thing is, when an agent or editor just rejects you, you'll typically just get a form letter, and they're not going to say, the reason that I rejected you is that your synopsis looks weird and I can't understand anything, and that's why you're here. And that's what the synopsis critiques will help you. I'm going to get in there, and if I'm confused, I'm going to tell you I'm confused, and you're going to see where agents and editors would pick apart or have problems with your work.